Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. And let's look at the 4 hours. So as you can see right now, we're still in the fourth wave move down. And yesterday we got to the 50% support level. And by the looks of it, we might actually get to the 618, which is not a good sign because typically the fourth wave move down does not get to the 618. So the last chance to bounce right now would be at 75.6 cents. If we do not bounce, this could be bearish, and this could mean that what we have on the chart right here could turn into a much bigger ABC structure, and if that's the case, well, it's not gonna be good because the C wave could put us below the bull market support band and the 200-day moving average, and it could even put us to about 66.3 cents and even lower because, well, I mean, I cannot really count anything here. So let's say this was a 1, 2, 3 or something for the A wave, which would not really work, but let's say this is the ABC for the B. If that's the case, the C wave is gonna have 5 waves down, and yeah, that's not gonna be great. So what we need to do right now is start a reversal, and the first step would be to break above the moving average right there on the 4-hour RSI. As you can see, we have been below it ever since we started this correction of the fourth wave. So the next target would be the fifth wave, and the target for that had to be changed because we went a bit lower. And right now, if we do not go any lower, and if this right here is the low, the target for the fifth wave is at 84.7 cents. But of course, if we go lower, if we get to the 618, we are gonna have to change the target for the fifth wave, and I mean, if we do that, it's gonna have to be much lower. It's gonna have to be at 83.5 cents. So yeah, right now 84.7 cents is my next target, but we still need to break out of this downtrend over here. So the first step is to break above this high at 80.5 cents, and then above that one, which is pretty much the B wave high of this small setup. And yeah, that is at 83.2 cents, and then we could focus on the fifth wave, and that should complete a much bigger first wave move to the upside, which means that even if we get another fifth wave, I'm still expecting the price to go down into an ABC after that. That's gonna be a second wave. But we are still, in a downtrend here, and we still need to break above the B wave high right there. So in the best case scenario, the fifth wave actually overextends, because let's say we only get to 84.7 cents in the fifth wave. If that's the case, we're still going to be in a downtrend, and when we do go down into the ABC for the second wave, that could be a pretty deep ABC. And if we do not manage to get above the B wave right here, it could still look like some kind of ABC, which could just be the B wave of a much bigger ABC. So yeah, we need to break above that high to confirm that something more bullish is going on. And other than that, on the bigger picture, we are still in a downtrend. We are still waiting to test the red line on the chart. So this right here is at about, let's say, 94.4 cents. Getting above it could be bullish, but on the long term, we are still expecting another wave right here for the fifth wave. So these 5 waves could actually be the first 5 waves of the first wave. Other than that, yeah, let me get rid of some stuff from the chart, and let's move on to the daily. And on the daily, we're about to test the moving average on the RSI. We're actually testing it right now, and I told you that something like this needs to happen, and we need to stay above it if we want things to turn more bullish, because as you can see, we have been below the moving average on the daily RSI ever since we got this top over here. So yeah, even here we did the exact same thing. When we started going up, first we went above the moving average on the daily, then we tested it like we are doing right now, and then we tested it again for some reason, and then we started going up. So this is what we need to do right now. We need to stay above it. It needs to continue going up, and the RSI needs to do something like this, and during that time we could get to around $1 to complete this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're still gonna need an ABC down, so that's pretty much it about that. Now on the weekly, we seem to be testing the moving average yet again. So I don't know why we're doing this, but it's still okay because we had like 5 weekly closes above the bull market support band and the 200-day moving average. So this is still looking pretty fine to me. And other than that, I want to talk about Bitcoin. I want to see what Bitcoin is doing. If you look at the weekly chart, which I have not talked about for a long time now, but if you look at what we're doing over here on the RSI, we tried getting above the moving average right there and we got rejected, and right now we are below it, which could mean that Bitcoin might get a correction, which should not impact the altcoin market too much because we're expecting Bitcoin dominance to go down because we're expecting the Ethereum to go up a bit more. So if this goes down, the altcoins should not really suffer too much. And now I want to talk about Bitcoin on the daily because, well, right here we are getting rejected by the 618 resistance level that I gave you yet again. And maybe we're gonna get above it, maybe this is some kind of 1-2 setup. If it is, we need to stay above the moving average on the daily RSI, and then we could watch for higher prices. This would be the ideal scenario because we kind of want to see Bitcoin continue to go up if we want the altcoins to get insane pumps, because that's what usually happens. And yeah, the next target would be $137,000. And now for the Ethereum chart, I'm expecting it to still hit $4,500 at least for the third wave of a much bigger fifth wave. And then we're gonna need a fourth wave move down, and yeah, this is gonna be a pretty deep fourth wave move down, but I don't think we're gonna get it right now. I think we're gonna get another high, and then at some point we will form the fourth wave as well. But here we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I think the structure is almost complete, but as I mentioned already, we still need to go a bit higher. So other than that, ADA is looking fine, everything is looking fine, and Bitcoin dominance is also looking pretty good because if you look right here on the RSI, we are getting rejected by the moving average on the daily, and this is a very good sign because I mean, usually when we do this, that's when the price, or in this case, the percentage goes down. So here we are still in a downtrend and we got back above the 60.3% support level. However, we might actually drop below it again. And if we do, that could actually give us a pretty significant move to the downside because after this, there's not going to be any more support. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our daily Discord updates, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.